Good morning, got data video for the week beginning the 22nd of July 2024. We can see the euro has ticked higher, but also so has the dollar, the USD. So we'll have to be careful with that particular cross. It doesn't give us a clear indication about direction if they're both ticking higher. So obviously euro has been quite choppy in so much that we had the sell and then the buy and then the sell and then the buy. But right now, the dollar and the euro are moving together. So I would be very careful with that particular currency pair. Okay, let's add yen on, and then we can see what's happening with that. And we are ticking higher as well. So that's of note. We may have bottomed out. Obviously, it's might be too early to say, but we could theoretically be making a double bottom here. And we can see the price action as well on cross yen. And also, it's worth noting, adding the fact that you probably should be checking retail sentiment as well. Us in the COT service, we use the bubbles, and then we can just we can get an idea about the direction on yen, depending where the bubble is. So if the bubble's high, it tells us that they're long. If the bubble's low, then it tells us that they're short. And what they're doing, they're reducing that volume and they're adding short. So by that action, it's strengthening yen. Okay, so I'll probably show you actually. Let's see if I can show you. And not now. There we go. Show you this. And I'll show you the yen bubble. I probably could have had this loaded up, to be fair. It would have been a bit better. So we come to the daily bubbles. It doesn't matter because it's the weekend. We've reset the data. So, well, I'll show you that, but I can show you the bigger one. So what's happened in yen? Yen was up here. So they were very long, and now they've reduced that volume. And now it's the third weakest. CAD is the weakest, then the New Zealand dollar, and then the yen. So that's a big change, a shifting of sentiment on yen. All right, because we were up there, and we shunted down. Pound strongest, gold right there in the middle, and it looks like there's going to be a massive battle between gold and USD. That's what's happening. It's actually shadowed. Yeah, the dollar's behind, larger. Gold is in exactly the same, pretty much exactly the same position as the dollar. So this is what I mean about combining retail sentiment with the COT data, and it should really help. Okay, so let's come back to the COT data. So that makes sense. That ticking higher has brought that yen bubble down. Okay, so if they continue to short, it will strengthen the yen. All right, so hopefully that's clear. Let's add, we'll take off euro, put on Aussie. Aussie's really surged, and likewise, just look at the bubble movement on the spreadsheet. Okay, and 2-4. Yes, we've really increased quite strongly. Okay, so that's of note. So that's Aussie. Pound on. Pound's really surged. Remember we hit 1.3, the big resistance psychological level there, and it looks like this is probably a push up to 1.3. So I think what's probably going to happen that they were going to probably top out next weekend, and then we're going to have like a little knee-jerk thing there because we hit the big psychological resistance. Also, don't forget this is the British pound sterling basket. It's not necessarily the pound USD, but the pound as in its entirety. Okay, so obviously the cable rate is very commonly traded in volume. It's a very heavily traded pair, but it's not necessarily pound USD. Okay, but we did go to 1.3, had a big reaction. Good, if you called it, it was a good short at that point, and it's fallen quite heavily since. And so this looks like a push up to 1.3. All right, so we'll have to see how we go next weekend. Pound off, CAD on. CAD's been quite weak, and it's continued to be weak. And we can see on the bubbles, CAD is weakest. Okay, so just bear that in mind. And we're seeing CAD weakness on the COT data. Okay, so that's of note. So that's how you can use it. Okay, you're looking at changes of big fish sentiment and small fish sentiment, and the big fish will prey on the small fish. Okay, so this is how the bubbles are really powerful. All right, and obviously you're looking for something strong versus weak, and you could potentially be looking to trade gold pending the divergence of the bubble between the gold and the dollar. Okay, so that could be a good trade. And so that's that. CAD's been weak, so it's off note. Gold on, and we are ticking higher, but we're sort of 50-50 in the bubbles, and we can have a big battle with that with the dollar. So we are strong on the non-comms, okay? Gold off, New Zealand dollar on, and ticked lower. And I wonder if we're going to go back below zero. We spent all that time below zero, went up above briefly, tried to really, navigate higher, but it's not liking it much, and we actually getting the sell set up against USD. So we may go back below zero on the New Zealand dollar, okay? And it has ticked lower fairly strongly. New Zealand dollar off, and lastly Swiss franc. And we were range bound all that time for many, many months, and we've broken that range and we're going lower. So 46 to 49. So they are decreasing their exposure to the Swiss franc. So that's it. So hopefully that helps. If you want to join us, just message me on Telegram or Discord or Twitter, or just go to patreon.com/QuasiDB, and then you can get access to the sheet, and then you can see how these bubbles work and how you can make money profiting on the bubble divergence. Okay, and that's it. So this is the strong sell, this is the strong buy. So if dollar comes down here, it's going to make it a buy. If gold comes up here, it's going to make it a sell. So gold will likely fall if that happens. Okay, so that's how you can use it. And I wish you a good day, and I'll speak to you guys soon.